Well, the fallout between the NBA and China has intensified after Chinese organizers canceled a fan event in Shanghai just a day before an exhibition game between the Brooklyn Nets and the LA Lakers.
Hey, what's up, family? It is your boy Fully Matic, and I'm back with another video. This video is on the touchy subject of the NBA and China, which also involves Hong Kong. The reason I'm doing this video is because I do Matic hoops, and so the NBA is a big part of it. It does affect the NBA, or at least it was a big story in the NBA, so I wanted to get my 2 cents out there and just explain for the people that don't know why it was so controversial for Daryl Morey to put out the tweet, and then why, LeBron James responding to that tweet was such a bad thing, and why people were attacking LeBron. And so at the end of the day, this really does come down to money. No one has really stated that. I can't say no one has stated that. People know, the reporters know, the NBA knows, LeBron knows, but it is also about the safety of our players because they were overseas, and you don't know what could have happened if, people wanted to retaliate and attack. Hong Kong are having protests, but because of that tweet, it could have been a very bad situation. It wasn't, thank goodness, but it still could have been bad. So I understand what LeBron was saying, but there are at least the words that you use, and without using the right language, it can be a problem. And so you gotta, if it's not no context, you said a guy was misinformed, but also the media did only play the part that he did talk about Daryl Morey is misinformed. LeBron actually said himself that he was misinformed and the team was misinformed. So let me play that clip right now.
Something not only was I, not informed enough about, I just felt like it was something that not only myself and my teammates or our organization had enough information to even talk about it at that point in time, and we still feel the same way.
Those things, if you do look at just what the media has out there, which they manipulate what you see, and that's why it's good that I, as a person, can report on my own stuff, because it is trying to show the whole and true story. I don't want to have an opinion, but the one thing, my one drawback is, LeBron, as much as you're saying someone else shouldn't speak, you should know yourself as you're saying that your words also can have ramifications. And so let's get into the video. The first thing that you're going to see, like I said, is the story behind China and Hong Kong, and then I will go into what actually happened with Daryl Morey, the GM of the Rockets, and LeBron James, and what transpired after that.
我哋已經冇晒退路，我哋太多嘅妥協啦，所以更加要俾佢哋睇到香港人嘅決心。
The people of Hong Kong are out in the streets.
呢個遊行對香港嘅未來可以話係歷史性嘅。
Hundreds of thousands are demonstrating against a deeply unpopular bill.
呢個會影響全香港嘅市民。
因為呢條條例對香港嘅傷害係非常之大嘅。
But this is about a whole lot more than a bill. It's about the status of Hong Kong and the power China has over it. It's a fight to preserve the freedoms people have here. And it all started with a murder. On February 8th, 2018, a young couple went from their home in Hong Kong to Taiwan for vacation. They stayed at the Purple Garden Hotel in Taipei for 9 days. But on February 17th, only one of them returned to Hong Kong. There, 1 month later, Chan confessed to murdering his girlfriend, who was pregnant at the time. But there was a problem. Hong Kong authorities couldn't charge him for murder because he did it in Taiwan. And they couldn't send him back to Taiwan to be charged because Hong Kong and Taiwan don't have an extradition agreement. So in 2019, Hong Kong's government proposed one. It would let them transfer suspects to Taiwan so they could be tried for their crimes. But the same bill would also allow extradition to mainland China,
where there's no fair trial, there's no humane punishment, and there's completely no separation of powers.
And that's what sparked these protests. China and Hong Kong are two very different places with a very complex political relationship, and the extradition bill threatens to give China more power over Hong Kong. See, Hong Kong is technically a part of China, but it operates as a semi-autonomous region. when China lost a series of wars to Britain and ended up ceding Hong Kong for a period of 99 years. Hong Kong remained a British colony until 1997, when Britain gave it back to China under a special agreement. It was called One Country, Two Systems. Also said that Hong Kong would retain a high degree of autonomy, as well as democratic freedoms, like the right to vote, freedom of speech, freedom of the press, of assembly. And that made Hong Kong very different from mainland China, which is authoritarian. Citizens there don't have the same freedoms. Its legal system is often used to arrest, punish, and silence people who speak out against the state. The agreement, One Country, Two Systems, wouldn't last forever. In 2047, Hong Kong is expected to fully become a part of China. The problem is, China isn't waiting for the deal to expire. Under the rule of Chinese leader Xi Jinping, pro-democracy leaders have already been arrested in Hong Kong, but Hong Kong has been pushing back. In 2003, 500,000 Hong Kongers successfully fought legislation that would have punished speaking out against China. And in 2014, tens of thousands of protesters occupied the city for weeks to protest China's influence over Hong Kong's elections. Now, Hong Kongers are fighting the extradition bill because the bill is widely seen as the next step in China's encroachment on Hong Kong's autonomy.
對呢個中國嘅法律係冇信心。
任何一個市民，如果係大陸政權，佢係唔中意你，佢可以用一個任何嘅理由。
如果那說難聽點，如果他們條例通過，那就代表香港淪陷。
So right here, you see the tweet from Daryl Morey. He later on deleted this initial tweet. He tweeted it out October 4th, and then he also backed it up, or he deleted it, and then, said some other words on Twitter, which you will see here as well on October 6th. And so that's him trying to cover himself. With that being said, the NBA actually backed him up. And so I'm just going to play this clip of Adam Silver, the commissioner in the NBA, backing up Daryl Morey and supporting his right of freedom of speech.
Because of my remarks supporting Daryl Morey's freedom of expression, not the substance of his statement, but his freedom of expression, they were no longer going to air the Lakers-Nets preseason games that are scheduled for later this week.
Now, the thing about this whole situation is that the Rockets were in Japan, or they were on a trip to Japan, which doesn't necessarily have to do with this situation right now. Daryl Morey knew that, we would be in the vicinity, or at least out of the country over there, and so he wanted to show support, use his freedom of speech. Now, when LeBron James said what he said, or at least what was shown on most of the social medias, is that he was saying that Daryl Morey wasn't informed of the situation and he spoke out. And so I'm going to play that video right now.
I think when we all sit back and learn from the situation that happened, understand that what you could tweet or could say, and we all talk about this freedom of speech. Yes, we all do have freedom of speech, but at times there are ramifications for the negative that can happen when you're not thinking about others and you're only thinking about yourself. So I don't believe, I don't want to get into a word or sentence feud with Daryl Morey, but I believe he wasn't educated on the situation at hand, and he spoke, and so many people could have been harmed, not only financially but physically, emotionally, spiritually. So just be careful what we tweet and we say and what we do, even though yes, we do have freedom of speech, but there can be a lot of negative that comes with that too.
Last question.
Now, LeBron later on came back and kind of clarified what he was trying to say. He was trying to say it wasn't about substance or anything like that. He was just concerned about the player safety in China at that point in time, because it was labeled as the China Games. As you will see here, I'm just showing the games that happened in China. And so one was in the game that the Lakers and the Nets were playing was in Shanghai. And so you can see the concern, but you can also see the reason why people were so upset that he used those words without any other context, because it's like he was shutting down Daryl Morey, saying he was basically uninformed and he didn't know what he was talking about, and to basically shut up and don't say anything, which, people took to heart, because LeBron James is is here in the U.S. trying to speak to equality and freedom of speech. You know, I'm not just a basketball player. I don't just need to shut up and dribble and everything like that. And so that's why everything is really coming on LeBron. But he wasn't the only player that supported China as far as in an interview. So here, check out James Harden also supporting. It's just James is on that lower tier superstar that he's not going to get blown up for this situation.
Yeah, we apologize. You know, we love China. We love playing there. I know for both of us individually, we go there once or twice a year. They show us the most important love. So we appreciate them as a fan base, and we love everything they're about, and we appreciate their support that they give us individually and as an organization. So we love you.
The reason I had to show that is because people really destroyed and trashed LeBron James for what he said, even when he tried to, back it up and clarify it. And these are some of the tweets. I'm going to just throw them out there. Talk about, they're showing just memes of him worshiping China, how just all this backlash. There is some support, because if you understand what he was saying is, if anything did happen because of those tweets, and that's why he said it could have come a week later, because they wouldn't be over there and wouldn't be subject to any, violence or anything like that. As much as I know LeBron had the very best intentions, it's still a matter of what people are going to think, and the words that come out of your mouth is hard to take back once they're released. And so that's just another sense of listen to your own words and make sure that if you do say something that you think about it so that it isn't controversial or people come out of take you out of context and make you seem like a person that you aren't. Now, to finish up this video, I do want to show you Rob Parker's thoughts and Max Kellerman's thoughts. These people are Max Kellerman, he's a LeBron James fan, I would say, but Rob Parker, he does not like LeBron. And so these are just their opinions and some of their reactions. It's not the full story. I will have all the links in the description for the content that I use.
Go ahead and address it first. What are your thoughts?
I think LeBron James could not be more wrong. And talk about selfish. LeBron James is the selfish one. This is about sneaker business in China. This is about his money. Go back and read the quote, the tweet from Daryl Morey. What's uneducated about it? About democracy and freedom? LeBron James, you get to play basketball and make millions of dollars and sell your T-shirts and soda pop and sneakers because of democracy.
What's your reaction?
I appreciate LeBron's point about the timing. If our guys are over there and you make a tweet supporting freedom in and people are in an area controlled by a repressive communist government, you feel like you could endanger them, maybe even physically. Of course, there's a whole other argument. Wait a minute. A tweet supporting freedom can physically endanger our guys, and the danger comes from the government itself? Maybe they shouldn't be over there in the first place. That's a separate argument to be had.
All right, guys, that is the end of the video. I hope you did learn something, or at least learn the missing parts on why this situation was so important. Here in the United States, we do go through a lot of the same issues: freedom of speech, inequality, and so we all need to understand that it's not just here in the U.S., and things are happening everywhere in the world. Please hit that like button, subscribe, and leave a comment below for what your thoughts are on this whole situation. And as always, we will see you next time. Peace. Thanks.